Well, guys, we're going to try this one more time. Now we're on Stephanie's phone through AT&T, so I hope this looks a little bit better. Maybe works a little bit better here. Welcome back for everyone. I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we're Van Life Sheldon's Travels. Sheldon, he's our yellow belly slider turtle. He's doing what he normally does and is hiding in his bed.
Yeah, you can't see him because he's under this little part that he's got a little blanket, but he's staying nice and warm today. I don't blame him.
Good. I see a few of you are coming back on.
Awesome.
9 of you. Good deal. Found y'all. How is it looking now? Is it buffering still? We're using AT&T instead of T-Mobile. Hopefully that will rectify the problem here. But 9 people are on. 10. Good deal. That works. We'll let everybody kind of get on for a second. I went ahead and just deleted the last live stream, so
nobody's getting confused.
So nobody gets confused with both of them being up. So we've had that happen in the past. So it's just technical difficulties sometimes. Yep, we're back, and I hope this is a little bit better. We're running AT&T right now instead of T-Mobile, so I hope the connection looks good. All right, good deal. Yes, we are in the cold weather, so excuse me. Looking good. All right, I guess we'll get started. Even though there's 12 people on here, we are done with the Minnesota Express beet harvest. Like I was saying in the last video, we'll just do a little recap. I did delete it. So we worked the sugar beet harvest. We were 10 miles from the Canadian border, and we were right on the South Dakota, Missouri line right there in Hollick, Missouri.
South Dakota, Minnesota.
Yeah, South Dakota and Minnesota. And then right up at the top was 10 miles to Canada. Mm-hmm. So in Hollick, Minnesota. So, which is a super small town. And we worked on the super piler in Humboldt. And it's kind of funny because we're seeing some other pilers and they are super small compared to the super piler that we were on working. So, yeah, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Canada, right on the T right there is where we were staying. And we did 2.5 weeks working the sugar beet harvest. And like Steph said in the last video, one of the best seasons that they've ever had. Shortest season, best weather.
Yeah, our foreman, Carrie, he told us before the season even started, he seen an eagle fly like around the field. So he was like, that's good luck. So he knew it was going to be a good season when it started. So it was nice going in with that attitude.
Yeah, so we were able to work about 15 days. We did have an early shutdown 2 days of those because if it gets too hot or if it gets too cold, you can't harvest and pile the beets. One bad beet will spoil and rotten the whole pile.
And we did have one day where it was 21 degrees, but we didn't have to shut down. And thankfully, Mike actually got to go in the chop house, and that's where what it sounds like. It's
basically I'd take a beet and I had a machete, and as the truck would come in, I'd reach down in this little house up here in the top, and I'd grab a beet with the little machete, had a pointer, pull it up, hold it, chop off part of it, and if it's mushy, you can tell if it's how it's frozen. And after you see a frozen one, I wish I had one right here to show you. You can tell if they're frozen or not. And I would check a big truck, one in the front, one in the small truck, one in the front, one in the back. A big truck, I do one in the front, one in the middle, and one in the back. And that, because if they're frozen, like I said, one bad one will rotten and destroy the whole pile. So,
but we did find out they are edible. You can eat them.
Steph tried it. I tried it.
What people don't really eat them. Like you don't find them in the grocery stores, but they do like they all the ones that you end up shoveling towards the piler, those
Mhm.
are like now bad beets, so they actually end up scooping those up with a payloader and they put it in a pile, and actually all the locals can come and get those. And what they do is they get the sugar beets and they go home and they actually like bait deer with that. And one of the girls on our crew, Karen, she was telling us that's what she did, and she actually brought some deer
Deer
jerky
jerky and
and
gave it to
Italian
us
sausage jerky. Yeah, and
with a big, huge thing of
it
local
was delicious.
potatoes and
Yeah,
tomatoes.
it
So
tasted like
Karen
normal
was
jerky.
such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
We worked there on the piler for 15 days. Like I said, 2 early shutdowns, and we worked with all locals, which
Right.
that has its benefits, and it's, I didn't really see anything wrong with it. It was kind of funny not to be able to talk to someone about it being a traveler and this and that. But for the most part, we enjoyed having locals, and we
Yeah.
were able, once the beet harvest was over, they all kind of met us at the local casino where we were able to hook in with free electricity
Yeah.
and have a little bit of fun. What Ricky, our piler, kind of gave us a little bonus there because he hit big on the casino, and then I kind of took that money and kind of made it into a little bit more money. So that
Yeah.
was kind of nice to play on free, considering we don't really gamble a lot, and that's really not. We don't
Right.
have a budget for gambling, so
Mike is being pretty modest. He took the money Ricky gave him and made enough money to get us 2 hotel
hotel
rooms.
rooms.
So
So
like he did pretty
did
well.
pretty good. It one was even with a hot tub. So
Yeah, it was
we'll get
really
that
nice.
was really nice. So we'll get into that here in a minute. But for 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks, 15 days, and 2 shutdown days, we made $16.45 an hour. Anything over 8 hours during the week was overtime, time and a half. We worked 12 hours a day, actually 12 and a half hours a day, almost 13. And on Saturday was time and a half, and Sunday was double time. So we ended up walking out of there for 15 days we got our first paycheck for the two of us. It was $1,500 each after taxes. So we had to take all the taxes out and everything, and we ended up with $1,500 a piece. Bob's
wow.
Adventures,
Thank
thanks
you
a
so
lot,
much.
man. I see you're doing a lot of stuff on YouTube, so we've been on your live streams a lot, and I hope you check out his channel,
Yeah.
Bob's Adventures. He's trying to grow his channel like we all are, so and just doing what you can do. I appreciate the $5. That's super nice, guy. I appreciate that a lot. But we were making pretty decent money. So like I said, we made $1,500 each so far. We will get another paycheck because it's paid on every 2 weeks this coming Friday. And I project it to be around $400 or so. So I kind of want to say we made $2,000 each for 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks worth of work. And that worked out for us. We also included that was a campground with electricity and a shower house, even though Steph got a couple cold showers and it was a little chilly walking back and forth to the shower house and stuff. We made it through and did what we had to do. We were on the 7:30 in the morning, which meant we got there about 7:15. It was a half an hour drive from the campground to the piler. So we would get there about 7:15.
It was kind
and
of
we would
funny.
leave
It
there.
was like day 5. I wasn't counting like orientation or anything like that. So it was like, you're kind of like gung-ho in the beginning, like you're excited about making money and learning the process, and then like day 5 you're
You
like,
know how to do it all.
this-
It's like I know how this whole thing works now. It's not an issue. You've learned
it's
it.
definitely manual labor too. You're like, this is kind of tiring and exhausting. But it was kind of funny thinking like, I was thinking like, day 5, like we're a third of the way through and we were halfway done.
We
at
were
that
halfway
point.
done at that point. So it was their best season.
Yeah.
We had the best weather, and like I said, only 2 partial shutdown days, and that was great. So we basically worked most of the time. So to accumulate about $4,000, we did have to spend a little bit, about $500 to make it from Colorado to there, and to buy some thrift store supplies, because you don't want to wear your nice North Face and Patagonia out there on the
Right.
piler. You
And it
will
was
ruin
nice to
everything
get,
you have.
yeah, and it was kind of like smart of us to get stuff in Colorado, because we went there and it was kind of before the season, so all the snow gear was kind of ample and there was a lot to choose from. And then when we
Here
got towards actually where we were
and
going to start working,
Halleck,
yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty slim to none, because there's a lot of people in the area doing the same thing. Like even when
We had to
started,
get that stuff in Grand Forks. We
yeah,
couldn't, and that's 3 hours, a couple like
right.
2 hours away from Halleck,
And then
and there's nothing out there for. I mean, there
yeah,
wasn't a McDonald's
the
or
Dollar General was
the
even like, it was kind of like the only store that was open late night,
because we
so
worked till 8 o'clock every night.
right. And
So
then like even there, it was like the shelves were picked through. So
because everybody from the harvest is there,
yeah,
and it's an
it's kind of
influx
like
of people.
Arizona. It's just like during the RTR van build time, an influx of people come, and
Right, and you put an extra couple hundred people into a
yeah,
little town. I think the town had I want to say 1,000 people population or something like that. It was like
it
1,000,
was
like
no,
15,
I think it was under 1,000.
under
I think it
1,000
was
people.
900 people.
Yeah, so like we engulfed another 100 or so people into
Yeah.
the town, and that really
Yeah.
makes a big
We
difference.
left out of there with a bunch of subscribers, because how are the locals not going to
notice our van.
So it was good to us. We made out.
I mean, we ended up leaving there, guys. Steph has put in us a couple of pot pies in the oven,
Yeah.
and we're gonna end up taking you guys around before it gets dark here.
You want to show me putting in the breadsticks?
Yeah, if you want to. There you go. Steph doing a little cooking in the Camp Chef.
We got some New York style breadsticks
to go with
delicious.
Some
to
pot
go
pies.
With like, these are the first time I've seen this, cheesy chicken and bacon pot pies. They look good.
So that's gonna be dinner for the night. And thanks everyone. We got 41 people on here. That is amazing. The last couple live streams have went really, really well. I know the last live stream's almost to 9,000 views, and the one of us being stuck in the snow in Colorado's at like 25,000 views, guys. That is great for us. I know you guys are watching, because our views have went up a lot, even though we're not putting up as many videos. So we were able to leave out of there with a little money, like I said. And immediately after that, we spent 2 days, because they gave us 2 days to stay in the campground to kind of hang out. We slept the first day away pretty much, and then we had to tent out and stuff, and we packed up the next day and kind of left out.
Anytime we have access to a dumpster, we kind of really like to organize the van, and do a little spring cleaning,
get rid of anything.
What haven't we really used, and what is just kind of
extra stuff.
Extra in the van that we keep moving around. So it was nice to have access. Like he said, we had access to the shower house. We had access to water, but it was really nice to have access to a dump
station and a dumpster.
And
so we stayed there for the couple days, and then two of our friends, Bob and Cherie, they are the real reason we ended up doing the beet harvest, because we were in Colorado just kind of relaxing, guys. Kind of just we got snowed in, and then we were just gonna make our way filming little towns down through Colorado, enjoying just being in Colorado and everything. And we saw a post on that they were doing the pre-pile, and I made a comment saying we should do that, 1 year for some money. And Bob and both of them were like, they texted me right away and was like, you guys, we need people. Like, we really, really need people, like good people. We need people like you. And so we beat feet and spent about $300 on fuel and stuff, and about 500 total to get there and get situated in the campground, and walked out of there with $4,000 in our pockets. Right. So after it's all said and done, after this next paycheck, And that's not including the bonuses at the end of the year when all it's said and done, a 5% bonus and some stuff from the farmers.
And we kind of have a little advantage because it's kind of like per farmer what they want to do, and we had a couple more farmers.
We did. So we had a lot of farmers at our site because we were on a super piler, which was a really big piler compared to some of the as we're getting ready, we've seen some smaller pilers, and they're a lot smaller.
A lot of people were talking about how this is a job where you do a lot of standing around, and the first day, you know, was like a crazy day for Mike and I. We had 540 trucks, and it was like
just on our piler alone. You know.
And it was nonstop from the jump to the very end of the day.
13 hours.
When it was no more trucks, it was because the truck drivers were done for the day, and it was like, wow.
So, you know, it was a lot of work and a lot of standing on your feet, and I'm not going to tell you it's an easy job because it's you getting there 45 minutes, you know, the shift starts at 7:30 and you go till 8, but you're there at 7:15 and you might be there till 8:15.
And we had beautiful weather, but
it could stall you out. I mean, like we were talking about.
We had beautiful weather, but even for us, it still rained 2 days. So you are out in the elements, and like, you know, I thought they stopped for more than what they did. They really only stopped for thunder. If there's thunder out in the distance, they will shut down immediately.
Right, because you're a lightning rod right there.
Right. I kind of thought they would shut down if it got too cold for snow. Well, no, not necessarily. If the beets aren't frozen, they'll still run.
Right.
So, like,
I had the opportunity to actually be what they call in the
were you going to say the boom operator?
No, the
chop house.
The chop house. So for a couple mornings when it was cooler, it did get down to 21 degrees, in the 20s while we were there.
Frost on the ground.
Frost on the ground. No snow, but like Steph said, it did rain a couple of days. But in the mornings, since we were on the morning crew, I was the only one that did this for the whole site of Humboldt, was check the beets. And that kind of had a machete with a little pick on the end. And as a small truck came through, I would grab one and I'd be in this little booth, and the trucks would come through, and at the beginning I'd get one, in the middle and at the end, and I would check them. I'd chop them in half with a machete, and I'd look for mushy and frozen beets, because one frozen beet will basically ruin the whole pile. So you had to check in each truck to make sure the beets weren't frozen. And we never shut down for frozen. We did shut down because it got too warm 2 days. So that makes a difference too. But we kind of got
lucky because it rained in the beginning. So after the 2 days of rain, we just went to the laundromat, washed everything, got everything nice and dry. And then after that,
it was good.
Right. But I imagine with like if
pouring rain every day out there for 12 hours.
With the rain and with the snow, it'll be twice as muddy. Like, we had to deal with mud, but I don't think it was even as bad as what happened before. And, like, we were in a little house on the highway. Richard and his buddy Jeremy, they did it last year.
If you haven't seen go check out his videos.
Check out his channel, because I'm not sure if it's up yet, but he was definitely working on a video of where it snowed last year, and
their beards and their eyelashes and stuff were all frozen.
They told us that their beards and eyelashes actually froze. So that was crazy to us, and we were
crazy.
glad
it didn't get to that extreme.
Weather like that, but kind of. Bringing
all into perspective here is we did stop for a couple nights, and we did electricity at the casino. It was free electricity, and sorry, dismiss that. There you go. And so we did do a couple nights there, and then we moved south a little bit more because we actually were offered another job offer, guys. So since the beet harvest ended, immediately after the harvest ended, we were offered another job making $16 an hour, and anything over 40 hours is time and a half for 21 days in Michigan to do the beet harvest here for another company. So as so 3 days ago, we got the word after we finished and we went to the casino and hung out for a minute. We got the word that they wanted us to go to Michigan and work and do the same thing all over again. So for the last 3 days, we have driven over about 1,000 miles in 14 hours. We left Minnesota and we went down a little bit to almost South Dakota and North Dakota border, and then we shot over and came up through the UP and the Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin, and drove all the way through Wisconsin, all the way through Minnesota, all the way through Wisconsin, up through the UP, and saw snow. And we did grab a hotel room the first night and just got a regular room. And we spent a few dollars on that. We got a cheap room. Right. It was like $70 for the night. And then we got up the next morning, had a nice breakfast there. And then we drove another 8 hours to almost Mackinac City, almost over the bridge, which, Mackinac Island. I really wanted to see that, but we just didn't have time to stop. Right. But we spent the night there. And because we are, we signed up for the Wyndham Rewards, I guess, we were able to get a room with a hot tub for $94. So we did that, and we got us a room, not last night, but the night before at the UP in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. So we kind of drove through Wisconsin, then we got into the UP, Michigan, and then we dropped down over Mackinac into Mackinac City over the bridge, and now we've made our way we spent the night there, and then last night we almost made it we are in Bad Axe, Michigan, which is the craziest name. When she sent me the name, I was like, what? I had to look it up. It was Bad Axe. Took a double take. I thought it was a typo on the phone or the computer when she sent the text. So last night we drove yesterday we got up and we drove like another 8 hours, almost made it here, made it outside of it. And we stopped at a Cracker Barrel and spent the night at the Cracker Barrel last night and did a Cracker Barrel night. That worked, but it did get cold. Thank goodness. We have been very lucky. We've been hooked to electricity for like the last month, being at the campground, being spoiled.
Doing a road trip like that, our batteries were doing pretty good evening. Yeah. So on the nights where we're not plugged in, we do have an electric blanket. So that is pretty nice because we just use the electric blanket.
We have enough solar and battery power with our 500 amp hours. We can run an electric blanket all night long on high if we need to, with no worries. And with everything else running, the fridge, the freezer, the surveillance, and everything else. So it doesn't really bother our solar setup to our battery bank to run that household electric blanket all night, which keeps us good and warm. But this morning we got up and we kind of jetted the rest of the way here, and we are at the campground in Bad Axe, and we are here and we checked in. They do have electricity and water, so we are hooked into electricity and water. There is a bathhouse, but there's 5 showers on that side. Only one of them's unlocked. So I'm hoping they're rotating the showers so that you get clean ones all the time. When they get nasty, they open up a clean one. But having one shower on the outside, and then you got to walk around and come into the bathroom with no heat. And it's like 35 degrees up here right now. It's pretty cold here today. And so we are hooked into electricity, but we do have to walk to the bathhouse, which I think we're going to show you all of that here in a few minutes so you guys can see where we're at. But we made it here. Like I said, they offered us a job for 21 days. It was their harvest. It's a little bit longer, and they only work 9-hour shifts instead of 12-hour shifts. And the pay is a little bit, a
It's
little
like
bit under
$15.95.
15.98 I think is what
Okay.
it is,
90.
almost $16 an hour, and that's for the first 40 hours. Anything over 40 is time and a half, and we will be working 7 days, 21 days straight,
Hmm.
unless there's a shutdown. So we're going to be doing a lot more long days, but I think it's going to end up being more like a 9-10 hour day with the possibility of a 12, but more 9-10. So we are on the second shift this time, which starts at 3 o'clock and ends around midnight, in that ballpark.
And it is definitely colder here.
Definitely colder here. We are going to be looking at this next week with a lot of rain coming in. So we're going to be, it's going to be a lot different experience being here at night. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we didn't even tell them, did we? We're gonna be working
second shift, which is 3 till
midnight.
midnight ish, a little bit more probably, maybe
Right.
maybe to 1. So that's just part of it. We could have gotten days, but I think it's, hey, Cherie, how's it going? So we will be working the second shift, and we are going in the morning to get our COVID-19 test.
Yep,
We got here today.
you do
You
have
have
to
to
do
hit
a COVID-19
COVID-19
test.
test.
I did ask if it was like the nose swab or like I know you could do a spit sample, and they don't know. So unfortunately,
We'll have to do that. We'll know in the morning.
Yeah,
We'll know in
hopefully
the
we'll
morning.
figure that out tomorrow morning. Well, they said the earliest they could get us in is tomorrow morning.
But they want us to get started tomorrow afternoon. They want us to start working tomorrow at 3 o'clock because they need us to get started. So that's part of it. As soon as we got here, they were ready to put you to work, which I'm not complaining, because that's why you're here, is to make money. And at the end of the day, the more hours you work and the more days you work, the more money you're going to make. So at the end of the day, so tomorrow morning is the plan, is to get up. We are checked in here to the campground. It is at the fairgrounds, and we are literally right across the street from our pilers, which we could see out the back door. There are lots of pilers here, and working, which are so much smaller than the super piler that we are used to.
Yeah, we haven't walked around with our cell phones, so I'm not sure how the service is going to be.
You got AT&T, and it was 5 bars right here on this tower. There is an AT&T tower right here, which is why we're not buffering. Thought we would be okay on my phone on T-Mobile, which has a better camera with the Note 10, but we're working with it. Obviously, everybody here is, nights are harder, but we're working the second shift, so we'll be back home at midnight. We get out of there at midnight, and we'll be back at, here at 1 o'clock. So that should be all right. I do agree. We'll get a little taste of both, Cherie. That way we'll know how we like the nights. And we did this for 1 season. This will be our second season.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why they're eager for us to get the test in the morning and go to work at 3 o'clock on. We do have to close. We just worked 15 days in 30-degree weather outside for 12 and a half, 13 hours a day. And we understand what it takes to be outside working in the, in the weather, in the cold. And
like Mike said earlier, we did go through
thrift stores,
and we got snow pants, and I got a nice big ski jacket. He's got our layers.
Yep.
We did went and get
Waterproof
hoodies that we didn't care about, and it is important to have things like that, because especially the piler we were on, they had an automatic oiler, and that oil got on all your clothes
gear,
and everything. So it's important to wear clothes that you don't care about.
And we did everything but our shoes, which we wanted to wear our nice Keen shoes. We purchased them. I know a lot of you guys watch us all the time, so you remember we purchased them back in January, December, and they still look brand new. They're Keens, and that's what we normally wear. They're waterproof, and we wore them the whole beet harvest and didn't mess them up. And we're gonna wear them for the whole 21 days here, and that'll probably be another thing we need to buy here for Christmas. Buy ourselves a new pair of shoes once a year, because we only have one pair of shoes, guys. We live in this little van, and we both have a pair of like flip-flop shower shoes, and Steph has some sandals. But as far as that, we went to just having, you know, just hiking keen waterproof shoes, have one good shoe. And you're right, Cherie. We actually purchased Milwaukee welding outdoor things that come all the way around. The only thing is exposed is like right here around your eyes and nose. Actually, it comes up over your nose. So, and then with the safety glasses, you basically have just a little piece of you exposed, and it goes all over. And I highly recommend those. You cannot wear a sweatshirt or a beanie underneath your hard hat. It's not OSHA approved. You have to have like this type of headgear, and they are expensive. They're about $30 a piece, so that's $60 we spent on those two things. But it keeps all the dirt and everything that comes from when the truck gets their dirt. If you watched the last live stream, you noticed that all the dirt flies, and it comes right at you in the wind, and it gets all down in all your stuff and in your ears and in your hair. And if you have that around you, and that kind of protects you from getting all, that's exactly swixing. That they're called a balafic. I can't even pronounce it, but yeah, they really, really help, and it's the only thing that's really OSHA approved. And then on our hard hats, we actually have the helmet warmers too, which kind of help, and it has a strap in case it's really windy, because a lot of days there the wind was 40 to 50 miles an hour, and it was 40 degrees outside.
The first day our helmets kept flying off, and then the next day we were like, can we have a helmet liner? And they, like you said, and the chin strap really helps, because once you put that chin strap on, it don't fly off.
It's not going anywhere. But you do want to buy stuff. The automatic oilers on the big super pilers, I don't know about the smaller pilers, they seem to drip oil all over everything that you wear. And so that's just, in fact, they gave us I had to throw it away, a raincoat. And if they don't give us one here, I might purchase one. Just a big yellow raincoat. And it kept all the wind and all, when it rained suddenly out of nowhere, and the oil, it kept it off of me. So that way I could just shed that raincoat, it outside, and I could hop in with my jacket on and stuff, and it made it for a lot better experience. But we are going to be here for like 21 days. I don't know. I'm kind of optimistic on 21 days. I'll be happy if we get 2 weeks worth of working. We'll be starting hopefully tomorrow. Maybe if we don't start, we'll go live and let you know what's going on and why we didn't start. But if we do start, we'll be starting tomorrow at 3:00. We are considering something crazy, even though they are paying for our campground here considering there is only there was 5 bath showers available, but it only seems one of them is unlocked, and you got to go around the whole building to get to the bathhouse for the toilet and the sink, and it's not heated and all of that. We are going to look around town and see how much a hotel would cost. So, I don't know if we should spend a little bit of money to make a little bit of money to make ourselves a little bit more comfortable. But it is supposed to rain all this week.
And it would be nice to have somewhere to put all that wet, muddy gear. Because in the van, we kind of just threw it all in trash bags. And then we had to put it up on the floorboard up there. So we didn't really have any room to
move
hang
this
that
nasty
gear up
stuff and to let it dry even. And when it rains and everything of yours is wet, you have to go to the laundromat and wash everything and all of this. So if we could get to the laundromat, if we could get a room for a decent price, that might be something that we spend our little bit of money that we made in Minnesota and spend it. I want to say Missouri. Oh, it was Missouri. No, it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's Minnesota, and I don't know why I want.
And Craig are from.
They're from. That's. I don't know why I kept getting that wrong the whole time we were up there too. Heated vest, that would be awesome. I just don't think I have. I did look at those online, and I could get one of those. Dino, nice to see you on. But so tonight we are at the campground. We made us some pot pies. We made us some breadsticks, and we're just gonna hang out here because we have to go get tested tomorrow. I know, but I'm thinking we might get a better deal if we do a whole week, because a lot of these places will do a weekly rate from what I'm understanding. I just don't know how much of this money I just made I want to spend. I'm kind of cheap, guys. I'm not going to lie. This was kind of a nice payday for us, and it's going to let us do a lot more paid things when we're traveling, and that was our goal to use this money for, guys.
And you gotta kind of look at it like any amount that you leave with. Like, I know a lot of people were kind of hoping they were gonna make more money. You gotta kind of have a thought process. You're leaving with more money than you came with.
Right. Oh, these are so good, but so hot. Delicious.
The New York style cheese breadsticks, folks.
But I'm just wondering if we should wait a few days, or it would be nice to have a place to hang up all of our wet clothes. I don't know. And we should weigh the options.
Taking a shower in the shower house, it is like 40 degrees in there in the morning. So the last one had a heater, and it would run some days. This one doesn't seem to have a heater, or at least it wasn't running.
It'll be cold.
So it'll definitely be cold. Like we said, we're going to be working 3 to 12. So, like, we're not necessarily worried about going in the morning and taking a shower. Then it'll probably be warm enough. But when we come back, it'll probably be like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and that'll definitely be cold.
20s. It'll definitely be in the 20s at night when we come back, or at least in the 30s. Right. And it's supposed to rain all this week.
We're just taking all this into consideration. And if the weather does get really bad, we are thinking about getting a room
for the week. And if we do it, I would like to get one for the whole week and get it like a weekly rate and make it worth it. Because you know, when you check into a room and you can't get in till like 3, and if you check in at like 1 o'clock in the morning, then you have to check out at noon. If you do, I'm thinking we should be able to get a motel or something for $60 to $65 a night. I think you're right. That's all I would want to spend. I wouldn't want to spend any more than 60 or 65 a night. But after tax of 6% here, you're still looking anywhere from $400 for a week, $400 or $500 for a week, and that's a lot of money. I mean, so if we could find something that was $250, $300 a week, I think that would be something that we might
now
explore.
In Halleck, they actually did offer that because they know that there's a lot of seasonal workers. So there were actually a couple small, efficient apartments that were $300 a month.
And this is something that we are thinking about doing next year also.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like we said, this year we kind of got lucky with the weather, so we'll have to see how Michigan weather does us in. But this is kind of like, our second year go around, because normally you would just do one season and then come back next year. So it is kind of nice that we're going ahead, we're doing Michigan, and like Mike said, the pilers look a little bit smaller and a little bit different, so it's definitely going to be another learning process.
It'll be the same thing, it's just everything's smaller. And I don't know about you, but you come from something that's really big and a huge super piler down to this little tinker toy. Everything it'll be a lot easier for us. So everything is smaller. It doesn't pull as much tonnage. The boom isn't as long. We're not stacking beets as wide or as tall. And that's got to be easier at the end of the day. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so we will be doing the Michigan thing, and I hope with 9 hours a day we'll be able to. I'll be able to. So let me ask you this question. I have some footage of Breckenridge, Colorado. Some really nice footage. We went through and seen the museums. We got to see the troll, the town, some beautiful camping up there that's free, 14-day camping. Got to see the water tanks, the ghost town on the Continental Divide, a whole bunch of. We'd been there 2 or 3 years ago, but a lot of things have changed, and we got to see a lot more this time, I think, because we stayed there longer, and we got snowed in there for a little bit too.
We did.
But then we made our way here. Well, not here. We made our way to Minnesota. And then from Minnesota, I've kind of filmed a little bit of us while we were at the sugar beet harvest. I will be making videos of us at the beet harvest. There's a pretty good video that I made of what to expect. And so everybody's posted all. So that's what I think. I think I just need to just start making the videos. And as long as everyone understands that we are here in Michigan, and Bad Axe, Michigan, working for the next at least 2 weeks. Yeah. They're saying 21 days, but they said 21 days at the last one too. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say 2 weeks, which is fine. $14 days at about $250 a day for us isn't a bad gig. We'll walk out of here with another couple $1,000s in our pocket. And truthfully, we wanted to take this money, and as we travel, I know for the last almost 5 years, we've been trying to do as many free things as we can, but we've noticed that a lot of the free things are turning into paid things, and the paid things are costing more money, and this and that. And we want to show you guys those things also. And by us working this beet harvest in Minnesota and now here in Michigan, and after it's all said and done, walking away with $4 or $5 grand in a couple months, that's going to be able for us to have an extra $500 a week for the next year, and next like $500 a month for the next year to add to our kitty. And that is little things where we could maybe spend $15 or $20 for a camp spot, or pay $20 a person for us to go and do something that costs something. And because a lot of times we're at places, and just with the YouTube making what it's making and us having the bills that we have, we just not able to like splurge as much as we would like. And being able to go and do those little extra things and go see the things that cost a little bit of money in a nice town, and be able to spend a little bit more money at a place and do the things that cost money versus just trying to do all the free stuff. And we said for the longest time we wanted to do all the free stuff, and we still will do as many free things as we can. But there's been a lot of times, we were very fortunate. Like the first year we were in Seattle, we walked around the Space Needle and looked up there and wanted to go up there and just didn't have the money to do it, guys. And then the next year when we were there, two of our friends, Bob and Wanda, that, they have really been huge for helping us on the channel. And like a lot of you, but I'm just using them as an instance.
They are our Patreons.
They are one of our Patreons, and they asked us when we were at the Scott and Terry Destination Open Road meetup. They came and they got to meet us and everything, and we got to hang out with them. And Bob actually looked at me and said, "Is there anything in this area that you would want to do that you just don't think it's in your budget?" And I was able to say, "Go up in the Space Needle." And he was in a position where he whipped off a few $100 bills and was like, "Go up there, have dinner, enjoy yourself." And that makes a big difference. Very grateful for all of you that have done those things for us. there's plenty of you that have taken us out to dinners,
but we are
shown
kind of
us
stretching
around.
this a little bit. I see we're kind of hitting the 40-minute
We
mark.
are.
So if you wanted to walk them around,
We might
should
want to
probably
do that to keep it at an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that works. And then our dinner will be ready and we can get off.
Yeah.
All right, let's kind of throw some jackets on here. But do you guys have any questions or anything like that? Because some of you might have got here late. But we left the Minnesota sugar beet harvest after 15 days and making about a little under $4,000 for the two of us total. And we were offered a job here in Michigan to do the same thing. So we accepted it. And now we are in Michigan. We just got here today, actually. What's wrong with me? I got too many things going on here. My jacket is not cooperating. Us Florida folk ain't used to having to wear this jacket stuff. Crazy. Too many layers. But we have made our way to Michigan, and we are checked in here at the sugar beet harvest. And how's Sheldon? Sheldon is great. He has been definitely loving the electric blanket every night in the heat.
Kind of sleeping in today. You can't really see him because he's under the blanket, but he's being cozy warm in his bed.
He actually acted pretty crazy at the hotel the last couple of nights. Well, last night we stayed at the Cracker Barrel, but the night before we did get a hotel.
Yeah.
And he acted a fool.
Like to fill up the tub, like not too much, but enough where he could swim and with warm water, and he really enjoyed that.
So, all right, so let's take you guys. I'm gonna flip the camera around and we'll take you outside, and I'll give you to Steph since she already has her shoes on. But Bob and Wanda did give us that little heater down there, and I tell you what, for a little bitty heater, that little thing will run you out of the van. So all right, you want to go. We are actually at the campground, but our piler site is right across the street here. We could see them piling beets right now. And if we would have got here early enough, we would have had our COVID test today.
Enjoy dinner, Stephen. Nice that you were able to make it on here.
If we would have gotten our COVID test today, we would have definitely been working today. That works. Come on out.
All right.
As you can tell, here's the camp. Pretty straightforward. Got the van hooked up to the electricity. Thanks, Scott, for that cord. I've been using it a lot, guy. Scott and Terry, Destination Open Road, and I'm plugged in right into the side of the van there. And then you can see, here's the little walk to the shower house. Looks like a lot of these are say Pioneer Big Chief Michigan Sugar. Right here next to the factory. Bunch of the work campers, all of us here. They put us in with all the big rigs. It's not too far of a walk, as you can tell. This town at least has some fast food and a Walmart. We were literally an hour and a half, 2 hours from a Walmart or any big store. The only place we had was the Dollar General. We didn't get off work till 8. Everything in the town was closed by the time we got off work. And except for the Dollar General, they were open till 10. Well, they saved us a few times. Luckily, the laundromat was open till 10. A few times it was just soaking wet. See, all those are locked, and then this one's open. But at least there's a chair in this one, so you can put your shoes on. But it's just a push button shower, a couple hooks, and looks like the handicap is locked too. Yeah, now we're working the second shift, so we'll definitely be able to go shopping and do anything we need to do. Where before we were basically working the whole time the town was open and the town would shut down, close, and we'd get off work. You can see these are the bathrooms. I'm not going to take you inside. Probably do that on a video, but the pretty colors. We can walk over here and you can kind of see how close we are to the piling sites. There's multiple pilers here. Sorry about the wind. But hopefully this signal's really good because of the tower right there. This place will be all lit up. You can definitely hear the trucks coming and going. The last company we worked for was Crystal Sugar, and this is Pioneer Big Chief Sugar. And that's the piler and the pile. Like I said, these look tiny compared to the big piler we were working on. It was really nice, though. They instantly got a hold of us as soon as we were released from the other job site. They instantly...
Well, it looks like here they use the tubing system for like the frozen beets to keep the air moving underneath.
Right.
Help them from rotting out and freezing faster.
And it look a lot slower too. Look.
That's a new process that we don't know anything about.
And see, they look pretty bored. They're looking pretty bored. There's no trucks coming in. And the pile's starting to get decent size. But that's the piler. I don't know if that's the one we'll be on, but it's right here next to camp. They said we'll be right here, so when we get over there, we'll figure it out. Well, they've got yellow hard hats, and we've got green. That's all right. We'll be different. They told us to keep all our gear.
They did, and we weren't sure if we were going to do Michigan, so we weren't exactly planning on keeping all of our gear. So we almost got rid of a lot of stuff, but like even down to the paper that they give you for the RV campgrounds and the fairgrounds that you're going to be at, you're going to want to keep that paper if you're going to move to a different piler.
Yeah. All right. Well, we kind of showed you around. We're going to head back to the van so we're not all shaky and cold.
show them that paper that I'm talking about. Like this one has it in his RV.
Right.
It
Not
just
the
says
best.
sugar beet harvesting
Yeah.
exposed. We'll find another one.
That one not as. I see a lot of yellow hard hats. And we got green. We'll stand out. So, what is your opinion? Would you get a room, or would you just stick it out in the van? Laurel's opinion. So this one here, we are done, and yeah, I can show our paper.
So this is the paper you need to put in your windshield if you're going to stay at any of the campgrounds and stuff. And if you're going to move pilers, definitely get that because we didn't get one of these, and thankfully a coworker gave us hers. And then apparently these are hard to get, so like if you get one, definitely keep it.
So Cindy, the first we worked almost 2 weeks in by the Canadian border in Minnesota, and then this is 21 days here in Michigan. So, all right. Dino says room. Anybody else have a comment? We're trying to decide, truthfully. It's hard to spend the money, but at the same time,
I think it would definitely be worth it.
I think it might be worth it.
Yeah,
so
after a walk to the shower house or two, I think
Mike would be ready to do the room. Let me flip it around. All right, toss my shoes off. And it's just bad too because everything is muddy and nasty.
Too bad I don't have an oven light so you guys can see in there, but
And everything's
hot
muddy.
pies are looking good.
Muddy and gross.
Put you right here.
Which those people don't look too muddy and gross yet, but wait till day 10.
It's still warm.
It's still warm, right?
Well, thank you guys for sticking with us till the end.
Right.
I hope we answered any questions that you may have had. I know it is surprising that, first of all, we're doing work camping and started in Minnesota, and now we're doing the same thing in Michigan.
Right. It is a little odd for us, but we like new experiences, and we are open to just about anything, you know. And that's just kind of the way you have to be on the road. What's the temps there? It is 40 degrees now. It'll be in the 30s tonight. Maybe you'll get another rig after that yes to getting a room. Harvest is 21 days here. Staying in that pop-up must be brutal. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, guys. I mean,
I even seen that their paper was in a Ziploc bag, and I said that's got to be because they're in a pop-up and from the moisturizer, even though they have like canvas, that still gets wet and moisture gets in there. So they had to put their paper in a Ziploc bag. So like we know it's tougher on them in the pop-up.
So you guys thinking if we could get a cheap room to go for it? I mean, if you're thinking about it the right way, we made $4,000, say 3,500. We're gonna make another 3. So now you're talking making $6,000. You're talking about maybe spending $750, $800, and on a room of 6,000. Gotta spend some money to make some money, or do you just take the free campsite and and enjoy it or whatever?
If the weather gets bad, it'll definitely make this experience a lot better because like Mike said, we are hooked into electricity, so we can use our heater, so it will be warm in here. But just doing something with that muddy, wet gear is
the hard part. When
yeah.
you could actually have, hopefully the
Like a
hotel would
closet
have a
area,
closet to be
yeah.
able to hang it up and dry. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
56 people are on here. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We're almost at an hour, and I really wanted just to make the live stream right at about an hour. Any more than that, it just seems a lot to watch. So, and I know your guys' time is just as valuable as ours.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate all of you sticking it out. I get a room at some point when it gets muddy. Yeah, that's
what we're thinking.
That's what we're looking for as a mom and pop with a weekly rate, and the snow is coming. So maybe we do a room for the week and then we take a week off, and then we, and you got to make some and spend some. Exactly. Absolutely. And life, this is about an experience. We're not doing this because did
you guys notice Mike's new hat? They did give us free hats that say Crystal Beet Harvest. It says Crystal Beet Seed on it, and it actually has a little sugar beet over here.
Yeah, it does. I can show you that. That's pretty cool.
It's got a little sugar beet. And then I have the same thing. Mine's the same up front. It's just mesh in the back.
It's the summer hat,
So we did get some new hats. They did give us proper retirement, like the hat, the headliners, glasses, sunglasses,
yellow, white,
glasses,
and tinted safety glasses, so, all three.
Earmuffs if you want it, or
this the hard hat liners, the vest and the
earplugs
gloves
if you wanted. But like, I always feel like I don't want to put earplugs in because if somebody's yelling at you, like, hey, get out the way.
You should be able to hear each other, and communicating out there is key. Definitely. And you always want to be doing eye contact, but sometimes you might just have to say, hey.
And they did give us a handkerchief, so some people were using them as masks, but I was using them to clean my glasses, so that's something to think about if you get a handkerchief.
We are in Bad Axe, Michigan. And that just sounds cool, don't it? So
we will definitely have to get a sticker somewhere.
Yeah, that says Bad Axe, Michigan.
Absolutely.
But I think we're gonna end this live stream. Thanks a lot, guys. I seen a whole bunch of you saying get a room, get a room, get a room. So if we could find a room for $400 or less, I think we might just pull the trigger and do it. And thanks for all your support in that, because I like to ask. I like to see what you guys think. And and we are smiling. We are happy. It was a hard 15 days. There's nothing easy about that sugar beet harvest, but nothing easy at all about it.
But it is kind of decent because, like I was telling Mike, like day 5, I was getting kind of exhausted, but you could just tell yourself, like,
making that
10
money.
more days to go.
Right.
It's not like a job where you feel like you have to keep this job to keep your house, to keep your mortgage.
Right.
I mean, this is just like an extra little comfort fund for us. So, it was just like you just tell yourself, 10 more days, 21 more
days, and then this is over. Like, it's not a full-time gig.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that, we keep telling ourselves is that this is something temporary. Make the money while we can. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience, and
because a month really does go by.
It does fly by, and then we're gonna have to head to warmer weather after this.
I didn't even tell you this, but on the driving here from Minnesota, we seen 2 bald eagles in 2 days, so I think it's going to be a really great harvest here as well.
Yeah, we did see 2 bald eagles, and that is amazing. Going up through the UP, coming down, that's a part of the country we've never been. We were able to cross over Minnesota and Wyoming and come up through the UP and Michigan, and that, I don't know, and just make some money. And like I said, that way when we go to places and it costs $15 or $20 to see something, we can just do it, and we can film it, and we can show all you guys. And I hope this experience here, we hope to turn right around and put it back into the YouTube channel, and by making better content with that, and in turn, hopefully having more subscribers and make more money on YouTube, and we'll be back next year. You know, Bob and Shireen, thanks for they're on here now. Thanks for talking us into doing this.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
because without you, I don't know if we would have pulled the trigger as fast. So because it was a short notice thing, and then for us to come here and do it in Michigan, it's just a double whammy for us, and being able to do that and enjoy having a little bit of a cushion, I think at the end of the day is going to be very, very nice. So all right, guys, we're going to get off here. Dinner's almost done. We're going to try to get these videos. I'm going to try to make the ones at Breckenridge and us going to the beet harvest in Minnesota and then back here. So don't get too confused. We're going to do some more live streams too.
Yes.
I feel like this is an easy...
Just remember that these lives are updated of where we're at.
In real time.
When we go back and do like our 10-minute videos, that's our trip from going out that way to Colorado, making it to Colorado, and then coming back
out of Colorado and coming back to Minnesota.
Yes.
So just remember that. I know a lot of you get a little mixed up on the timeline.
But
and
if you do have any questions, definitely put them in the comments, because we love answering questions.
Absolutely.
And we love hearing from you. Even if you just want to tell us about who you are, where you're from, and
we love our comments.
Yeah,
and if you have something that's kind of more detailed, we'd love to have those questions so that we can talk about them on our next live stream. So
definitely,
you know, that's what this is all about, is communicating with you guys and keeping it in real time when we're busy working for these couple of months. And it looks like this is going to be a yearly thing for us, being October and November, us working, and then spending the rest of the year traveling and enjoying ourselves. So all right, guys, it's been over an hour. You got to see where we're at, and we thank all of you for keeping 56 people on right now. That means so much to us, and to keep this YouTube thing going while we're working is really hard for us, but we keep doing it because of you. So
we're definitely trying to make up our lost time.
Yep. All right, guys, we're going to get off here. Thanks for watching. Please like,
comment,
and subscribe
on Patreon and Instagram.
Hit the bell for more notifications.
And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks so much for watching.